breaking WrestleMania of all time.
And I think if this WrestleMania...
This is like do or die.
Exactly. If this WrestleMania flops, WWE is in trouble.
I mean, they'll still be the number one.
They'll still be the number one, but I think fans are going to slowly pull back a little bit. Maybe a few people
Dark Ages
might cancel their network subscription.
They've lost a lot of subscriptions.
So now, if I was another company, I'd be smart enough and I would start picking pieces from indies. I'd be starting picking pieces from other promotions and seeing what I could do to build myself up. And if not, you're in trouble because, like I said, this is either do or die for WWE. If this is die, this is it would be a perfect opportunity for TNA to swarm in and start picking up some free agents if they were smart about it. If Ring of Honor was smart
They
about
are, though. They're picking up big free agents.
Who?
The WWE.
No. I'm talking about TNA and Ring of Honor.
Well, there's possibly one free agent that could land in TNA,
Ring of Honor,
NJPW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and we'll get into that when we come back here on Ringside Rumble Radio on the UCR Network, powered by Spreaker.com and free on iTunes.
So, I'm a dog, and I just got adopted by this new human guy, and I'm starting to wonder how he got along without me. I mean, okay, something as simple as walking around the block. He's got this leash thing, and he puts me on one end and him on the other, and I'm just taking him around. I think he's afraid of getting lost. Without that leash and me guiding him along, I don't think he'd find his way back home. But it's kind of cute.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Man, do I love card night. You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go, fish dad.
Oh, come on. This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Unified Championship Radio.
Oh, yes. It is Ringside Rumble Radio here on the UCR Network, powered by Spreaker.com. And now on the iTunes. Free, of course. Just make sure you type in Ringside Rumble Radio and up pops up
Our two beautiful faces.
Yes, it does. And remember to like us on Facebook, facebook.com/UCR Network. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at UCR Network. And if you want to tweet to us or write something on Facebook, make sure you use the hashtags UCR Network or RRR.
That's very dramatic. You are very dramatic.
I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped.
You are
last
very
segment,
pumped.
Very emotional.
It was very emotional for you. Hey, man, I posted on Facebook and Twitter with all the speculations going on for WrestleMania. Who should The Undertaker face? Let us know. Tell us your thoughts. We'll post them like the Loganator said. Use hashtags at UCR Network and RRR for Ringside Rumble Radio. But before we went to break, we discussed a little bit about who could possibly help out New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor, or maybe even TNA. And there's one guy who's saying, "C'est la vie."
He has some bad news for everybody.
He's got some bad news, and that's bad news, Barrett. He's on his way out.
He says he's not re-signing with the company once his contract expires. And he took to Twitter and noted he would comment further at a more appropriate time, and he will be at WWE Fastlane this Sunday.
Could he... Where would you... If he doesn't come back to the WWE, where would you like to see him go? Because he's definitely not getting the push here.
Well, if I was a businessman or a businesswoman, I'm talking about Dixie Carter, I think the best bet would be for her to reach out to Wade Barrett and possibly say, hey, we could use you on our main roster, and maybe push him in the main event status. Because it seems to me every time that the WWE has these little mid-carders that they have no more use for, Dixie comes out and says, hey, you know what? We got a spot for you. MVP, Mr. Anderson, Matt and Jeff. The list goes on and on. Drew Galloway. But here's the thing, though. This guy I actually could see being the face of TNA's company. I don't see... He's no Mr. Anderson. He's no...
He's better.
He's better than them. He's no... Well, actually, I like Drew Galloway. I could see him being in the main event as well. But he's no MVP. He's no... I said Mr. Anderson, right?
Yep.
He's...
We get it.
He could be the next guy.
You can name the entire roster almost.
That's true. I mean, Matt and Jeff Hardy are up there in the wrestling age. They're not really in their young...
Kurt Angle's on his way out.
Kurt Angle's done. He's not... I think his contract is done now.
Oh, they just haven't showed it.
No, it's like 4 weeks in advance. You got to wait 4 weeks. But why not sign this guy? He's good on the mic. He's entertaining. Give him a shot. But I also heard that he might not even want to do wrestling anymore. There was reports on the internet today that he might like to become a soccer analyst.
That's interesting. That's something I'm guessing that he really loves soccer then. But going back to actually him going back into wrestling, he kind of works for any of them. He works for Ring of Honor. He works for New Japan Pro Wrestling, where they can make him a star. But like you said, his best fit is probably with TNA and that roster. Not only because he's probably would be top 4 or 5 on the roster, but the fact that TNA has such a global presence in the UK. Yep. Bang.
Right there.
Sold.
I like the way you think.
Put Wade Barrett right there.
And one wrestler, we posted this on Facebook the other day, that didn't take too kindly to Wade Barrett's announcement. People were saying this might be a code. Is Randy Orton, the Viper. He posted on his Facebook, one thing, hashtag the Viper doesn't respect cowards like the Nexus. And then he posted WWE Bragging Rights 2010 Wade Barrett versus Randy Orton.
You know, I love Randy Orton. I love the character. I love the Viper. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I can't hear this coming from a guy who's made it. Mm-hmm. Don't tell, oh, this guy's a coward when, you have had your chance at being at the top. And you've been put over guys who probably deserve a title run. Yep. Like Christian did during that time, or Daniel Bryan. And they said, oh, let's go back to Randy Orton again. Wade Barrett never got that chance. And some of it is on Wade Barrett because of the injuries.
Yeah, definitely.
Every time that they were going to push Wade Barrett, whether it was during the Nexus run or during his Intercontinental Championship run or when he got really huge as Bad News Barrett, during those runs, he got hurt.
And he even won the King of the Ring that one year.
I think the King of the Ring is an absolute curse nowadays.
Oh,
because you win the King of the Ring and you become a joke. Mm-hmm. Booker T.
King Booker.
Sheamus. Now this one. Now Wade Barrett. It's been a mess.
It used to be like a leapfrog into main event status when you won the King of the Ring. Now it's like...
What is it, because it's not on pay-per-view anymore?
Maybe they need to bring it back. I don't know.
I just don't understand.
And this year, didn't some of the matches, they weren't even on TV? They were like on the network. So if you don't have the network, you're like, I don't know what's going on.
So it'll be interesting to see where he goes from here. But speaking of Speaking of the WWE Network, Triple H and the WWE Network just announced that they are adding the Global Cruiserweight Series. We had talked about for a while that the Cruiserweight title might be back, especially since you have guys like Kalisto and AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, all these high flyers coming in, and then bringing all these guys from the independents coming into the ring. Maybe they bring back the Cruiserweight title, and they're doing this Global Cruiserweight Series that's going to be coming this year.
That'd be interesting to watch. I mean, I always like the Cruiserweight division because you always have the high-flying moves off the turnbuckle, off the ropes, and it was a big thing in WCW. I don't think really WWE got as much hype with the Cruiserweight division as they wanted back in the 90s.
They tried it as the lightweight.
Yeah.
But they just didn't have the access to the stars. You know, WCW had all the access to the luchadors and a lot of ECW guys who wanted to come in and wrestle at first. That were, I mean, if we remember, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, Chris Jericho, all came from ECW. And then you add them, sprinkle in a little luchadors, Rey Mysterio, Juventud Guerrero, Psychosis.
Yep.
Even my dancing buddy, the Strutter. And I can't even think of his name right now. La Parka, man.
But if you remember, WWE, they kind of made it as a joke. Because remember when Gilbert held the title for so long? And then they had, what was his name? Tanaka had it. And then, I mean, Funaki. Christian held it for a little bit. And then after a while, it kind of just went. And then Dean Malenko held it for a while. But then it kind of just poof.
Well, that's when they started bringing all those guys in from
yeah, but then
WCW.
I feel like it was a little too late on that. But
well, this is going to be a tournament. It's going to have 30 of the greatest in-ring competitors. They're going to head to the home of NXT, the Full Sail University in Orlando, Florida, and it will premiere on the WWE Network Wednesday, July 13th at 9 p.m. following NXT.
See, they have this network. They should continue to build a few more shows, I think.
Hey, man, they're doing this Cruiserweight series. I'm telling you, please give the women their own show, finally.
We've talked about this, I think,
I'm
every
gonna
episode.
Keep pushing for this. I want to see the Divas get their own half hour. I don't care. Half hour.
You need an hour. A good hour. Good hour. And then just have them run with it. Because think about it this way, quickly, and then we'll move on. You could have... You're going to a Raw live event, all right? They do... What do they do usually at Raw? They do either main event or superstars, right? Before then. So have the crowd get there a little earlier. Maybe do an hour match. Or you could do 3 women's matches and then fill it in with backstage like interviews or backstage promos or altercations. And there's your hour right there. I mean, it would just benefit the women's division since there's so many women in that division, and it keeps getting better and better, and they're not utilizing the girls one bit. And notice how I say girls, because I refuse to call them divas, because I feel like that word just kind of, I don't know, it just doesn't, it's disrespectful to them, I feel. They are women. They're not divas. They're not like how it used to be when they would just come out and strut their stuff and do bikini matches and wrestle in mud and have the king come into the ring and, okay, let's see which one can show off their bikini the best. It's actually wrestling now.
Yeah.
And why not capitalize on this and give them an hour show?
You are correct on that, my friend. Another thing the WWE is instituting is the Vincent J. McMahon Legacy of Excellence Award, and that will be announced this Monday. I'm wondering if they're going to give this out during the Hall of Fame, but it's definitely in honor of Vincent Kennedy McMahon's father, Vincent J. McMahon. What do you think this award could possibly be about, and who can get it?
For excellence?
I wonder if it's someone in the back, someone who's been with the company for a long time.
Yeah.
Where will we go with this? This would be interesting to know.
It could go anywhere. It could be a road agent. It could be behind the scenes. Could it be a wrestler? Could it be a manager? Could it be somebody who does a lot of charity work? We don't know.
Yeah, we also know that they have the Warrior Award that they're going to give out every year at the Hall of Fame. So another award's coming out. Going to be